Hey, welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having an absolute magical day, and thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. I have a deck I guarantee you haven't seen before today. This is Tatsunari, the Toad Rider, Golgari Enchantments, actually being incredibly competitive and resilient within the current meta, which is fantastic. So we're going to Toad Town, baby, but it's not only that. We have a pack to open today as well, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All these things help, and let's take a look at the deck. Wayo River Ribbits. This is the Tatsunari. I don't know how to pronounce this frickin' dude. Toad Town is what I'm calling it, for 3 mana as a 3/3, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, if you don't control a creature named Kemi, a legendary 3/3 black and green frog creature token with whenever you cast an enchantment spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Now this is fantastic. We love this drain, and we have a deck loaded with enchantments, many of which are enchantment creatures, which will sit in front of the meat hook to deal even more damage, which is really cool. So when they come into play, dealing damage, gaining life. When they leave the battlefield, dealing damage here as well, which is fantastic. So we can also pay 2 to give it and another target frog that we control the ability to be unblockable, except by creatures with flying or reach. So if they just have regular creatures, you're getting in without the blocks here, which is so good when we're talking about draining our opponents down to 0, right? You already know a little bit about the meat hook. We'll talk about this more, but the Toad Rider, right? When you have Kemi out dealing damage with those enchantments and then being unblockable is a very easy way to get a large amount of damage through to your opponent's health points. And then you just drain them until they're dead, right? So very, very nice. With the Toad Rider, that's the main card of the build, right? And then it's a bunch of enchantments around it. We have the Dockside Chef here. It's a 1/2. We can pay 2 to sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw a card. It's an enchantment creature, which you'll see as a main modality within the deck, because it's going to make Kami if it's not been made already, and then it's going to drain your opponents down and help you survive, which is cool. And I guess we should maybe, before we get into all of the enchantment creatures, talk about the meat hook if you are unfamiliar, as it is another big part of our strategy here. For 2 mana plus X, whenever it enters the battlefield, each creature will get -X and -X until the end of turn. And whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. This is going to be fantastic. Whenever a creature they control dies, we're going to gain 1 life, which isn't bad, but it's not our main objective here. We just want to deal damage primarily. And then back to the enchantment creatures, we've got the Fang of Shijiki. Oh my lord! For 1 mana as a 1/1 with Death Touch, it's fantastic blocker. It's another way to also get relative consistent damage in, because your opponent's not going to want to block a creature with Death Touch, because they're going to lose that blocker, right? So unless it's a token that they don't care about, there's a good chance that this can get damage in if you want. If not, it makes a fantastic defender, again, because of that Death Touch. We have the Kami of Transience for 2 mana as a 2/2 with Trample. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the Kami, which is very, very good. It's going to get bigger, it's going to get better, and has Trample organically. At the beginning of each end step, if an enchantment was put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn, you may return the Kami of Transience from your graveyard to your hand. So the replayability of this card is huge within the deck, because there are plenty of enchantments. Many of them leave the battlefield organically to bring Kami back into play, and it's a high priority creature that your opponent will definitely want to remove. With that being said, the only way they're really going to deal with this is if they deal with your graveyard before you get it back, or hard exile, which is definitely a part of the game. Moving on, we've got the Life of Toshiro, one of my favorite cards here. Not only does this transform into Memory of Toshiro eventually as a 2/3, in which we can tap, pay 1 life, add 1 black source to spend on instant or sorcery spells. Not really our main objective here at all. But the Life of Toshiro with the body as a 2/3 is fantastic. Again, this is an enchantment creature and an enchantment when it enters. And then on the following step, you get to choose one. +2/+2 on a creature, -1/-1 on a creature, or gain 2 life. The +2/+2 is really good if you have Kami of Transience out. Again, this is going to push the Kami up to 3, and then the ability pushes it up to 5. You're attacking with a 5/5 with Trample. and then again next turn. It's really going to help put in a lot of damage. Of course, gaining life if you need, and the removal is quite interesting here as well. We have the Jukai Visionary as a 1/3 for 2 mana. We can pay 2, tap it to return it to our hand, looking at the top 4, grabbing a land from among them, putting it directly into the battlefield tapped, the rest into the graveyard. And we can also channel for 2+ double X to discard it, right? That's what the channel means, to return X non-legendary cards from our graveyard to our hand, which is really quite fantastic. A nice way to grab everything back and give us some replayability as the game goes on. One of my favorite things to grab back is the Gloom Shrieker for 3 mana, an enchantment creature here as well. 2/1 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, and if it would die, exile it instead. But sometimes, you know, this does land its way into the graveyard through the Visionary, right? You know, putting those cards into the graveyard with the land ramp ability for 2. So it does happen, but again, just to play it is fine here as well. Jugan defends the temple for 3. This is another saga that transforms into the Rising Star, a 2/2 with flying. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, we can pay X and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. And then if we have 5 or more modified creatures, the Rising Star gets +5/+5 and trample, which is redonkulous. Very, very crazy stuff there. That, you know, you play a snake, you play a Dockside Chef on top of a Rising Star, and all of a sudden you've got like a 7/8 Chef or something to slam through with. So it makes all of your other creatures much more formidable in the late game. And then, you know, making the 1/1 to add mana, putting 2 +1/+1 counters on something, you know, that's not bad at all either. Binding of the Old Gods, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls for 4. Search your library for a basic forest, into the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffle. Creatures you control gain Death Touch, right? So very, very nice there. Binding is one of my favorite things to bring back with the Gloom Shrieker, because that removal is fantastic. And then finally, the Skeletal Swarming. Each skeleton you control has trample, attacks each combat if able, and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of other skeletons that you control. At the beginning of your next end step, create a tapped 1/1 black skeleton creature token. And then if a creature died this turn, you'll actually create 2 of those tokens instead, which is quite fantastic. You know, the trample damage that gets bigger and badder every turn is going to force them to deal with it or lose. And of course, that's going to be in front of the meat hook, which is nice as well. And if they are dying, then you're going to get consistent damage in through that death trigger there, which is nice as well. We have the Glades, the Pathways for land consistency, the Lair as our creature with the Hive, and then of course the Mire with Who Endures Mire, bringing some things back, and then Who Endures kind of mitigating any threats our opponent may have here. That is the deck. Holy Toledos. Don't forget about Infernal Grasp. Yeah, it's not an enchantment. It's just removal, I guess. It's the one card we kind of did skip over there. And, you know, just keep your opponent's field state in control, right? You don't want to have to deal with any big baddies. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed. At the end of today's video, we do have a pack. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. Pack opening at the end of each video, which is super exciting. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's play some freaking Magic, Doogie. Going first, and you know, a couple of my favorite cards in hand here. Life of Toshiro being one of them. What great value. +2/+2, -1/-1, gain 2 life. Literally, what else could you want? In a card. Oh, I'm sorry. Does it make a 2/3 when it's done that can reduce the cost of instant and sorcery spells? Wow. 2 mana, uncommon. What a world. So, I mean, Doomscar, right? Hit for 2. Both of these will most likely just be played as land, so whatever. Not worry about giving it too much thought. You give things thought in this game, HCG? I've been watching you play for years. That's something I didn't know you did. Stop it. Be nice. This is a bighit.com. Yeah. Because if they don't negate this, that's a lot of additional damage. Like, we already push up all the commies, and then another +2 on the commies. Like, we'd be hitting for 8 damage here. Like, oh no, sorry. 10 damage, because we'll push up again, right? It's just far too much. Right, that would have been ridiculous if we hit for 10 there. Down to 8. right? That would have been very cool. So now we're definitely seeing a Doomscar. There's no way it's not. Wow. Whoa. I think we just play in to push the team up, don't we? Or do we just keep mana for the chef to draw? Because it would be cool to kill Rafine. Technically, this is lethal. And so, you know, if they deal with one Kami to stop this, then what good is just that extra 1 damage? You are real funny.
Now you've done
Okay.
it. Coming off.
Take the draw on it or take the kill on her. Take the draw on it. Something I don't want in Exile. I'd rather it be in the grave. A nice hit. We still have another draw if they're going to interact with us further. I don't really want the Kamis to go into exile. It's like something that can come back from the grave into our hand. It's just like freaking deadly, dude. This is really good for us. And then risk it for the biscuit. I mean, worst case scenario, it's going to open up our attack lane. It could just have another. I would hate that. But you get 2 damage in, which they would just gain life. There's no way they have another. Frick off, Randy.
Run away.
Okay, nice, bro. I can see you're very good at this game. You've been practicing a lot. Wow. Alright, let's see if we can swiggle our way through. Swiggle, swiggle. Swiggle, swiggle. Get your swiggle on. Yaz. Yaz. One, two, we get a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Land is directly into play. Out of 6, which means we can cycle this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 2. Grab both of our things back. Let's just push in. For 4. I think there is interaction here. But they're going to save it on this land. Which sucks for me. But it keeps these other 2 alive. Oh, they have the Field of Ruin. I'm not even looking at the field. As it has been ruined! ECG, you ding-a-ling. This does open up the chef here for us, though, once the land hits the field. I did not even... Yeah, that's on me. I didn't look at their land. Field of Ruin, is that still a card? I honestly didn't think so. We do get 1 damage in, down to 3. It's early. Should have more coffee. That'll solve all my problems, right? If there's one lesson I learned from watching my parents when I was a kid, coffee just solves your problems. Oh, Lord. So this is not a bad hand. We'll get through this. First stop here. Accidentally set this. Edgar is a great card. It can, you know, get in the way. It can generate life gain creatures eventually as well, so we don't love that. We do not mind the death touch here, though. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards back. Might be kind of that time where we just press that mid-game advantage, try to get there. But also get this Kami in rotation. That's an interesting card to counter. I mean, it is a draw engine, but it's a 1-drop. Like, we can grab, like, you know, it's not hard to grab that back. We're chilling. We are big chillin'. Hopefully they don't exile our graveyard. Right, because we want to bounce that Visionary back to our hand and then grab everything from our grave into hand again. And, you know, maybe a little bit of advantage here will help us through the last part of the match. They're down to 3 life. Worried about any life gain they've had. You know, back-to-back Wanderers. Holy. What an awesome start for our opponent. Alrighty then, let's get you back to our hand here. I mean, okay. I was just gonna self-sack and draw. You went into play. Oh, Toadskis and a Kami. So yeah, just don't exile my graveyard, bruh. There's a green source here. 1, 2, oh wow. So we have 11, which just take them all. Which brings us down to 9. So we do 3, 6, 8, 9. We do 4. We're at 10. We missed one mana. Half is hard. Grab this, grab this, this. Grab this. And that's pretty cool. Lay out that Dockside Shaft. Push up our Kami. No attacks. I'm not really looking forward to a double block. That would be fantastic. I'd rather Toshiro up with some double removal on the back end. Right, because we will have enough mana to do all of this. Dropping the Lair of the Hydra as well. Active the turn after. Get channeled. Okay. Dropping the Sea Turtle for Behold the Multiverse, which is a nice draw. Ow, wow, wow. Vanishing Burrs. Okay, now that is a wrench tossed into my gears, baby. You're going to start grinding if you keep it up. Nice draw. Down to 2 available mana, though, then. That's not great, son. Didn't your poppy ever tell you? Let's see if we can land these. Nope. I mean, good counter. Good counter. Gotcha. Sucks, though, because now those life gain creatures come out. We will act on those as quickly as possible. This is smelling like a forced block to me. And then this makes a 1/1. Who cares? Toshiro absolutely slam dunks on it. Like some 360 over the head. Oh. Well, that is a problem. Could I top deck 2 more Toshiros here, please? What's up with all these lands, man? This is ridiculous. So many lands.ca.
My will cannot be denied.
Does have to be 5. Double block, right? It's being blocked regardless. I mean, if we attack Loath and they have another Loath in hand, they might just let it through and then play their other Loath. Now all of a sudden there's 4 spiders. We don't want that. So just force the block. Loath can sit there. He's a dirty dog. A dirty doogie. Hey, look. There's no Field of Ruin, finally. It's funny because I didn't look before I did it again. I'm just looking now. Lord have mercy. Alright, well, here's the block. Yar.
Do what I demand.
I could sack Toshiro, Chef, or draw. 14 lands in play to my opponent's 8. Very awkward. Like... Alright. So they're not getting my lands yet. They could hold it and snag that layer, which would be the smartest thing. But obviously, if they target the Chef, it just self-sacrifices here. Well, of course, I'll sacrifice the land too, but... down to 2.com. March of the Wretched Sorrow is a card of theirs that I would very much like to dodge. Two cards in hand that we don't see with the verse. That is definitely not bad. They take Toshiro here? I don't know. What, that would be weird. That would be weirder than saving it for the lair. Unless they have something else for the lair, huh? Which you got, Willis? I will need to start self-sacking in front of the life gain as well if we want to get there. Alright, this is actually fairly allowable. Of all the cards we were going to draw, that's not the worst. It's maybe not the greatest, but... Look at those lands! 15 lands, baby. Let's go. Push this out for 4. We were utilizing much of this mana. Where's our meat hook? Where's my meat hook, Doogie? Alright, we're gonna sack that land with the Chef. Insert old man thumbs up meme. Hey, Kami of Transience. Come hither. Resolve. All right, this is dirty. Those are 2/2s now. All right, so we're gonna chump, block, that life gain to keep them down, and top deck a meat hook because we know that's around, and we're halfway through our deck. There's probably more meat hooks in our deck than there are lands remaining. Don't you dare, Doogie. They're going for it. What an absolute dirty dog. Like checking it out. Yeah, what is that? A 1/1? It's okay. Just need the life, right? That's what they think. And I'm like, okay. Let's get that interrupted. Will they stay at 2? Oh. Maybe we can have that help us somehow. We're gonna kill... Oh, you are such a dirty doogie. Wish we had more mana to sacrifice our chef too. I don't like this life gain for them. Leaving Edgar up isn't actually the worst thing because it doesn't generate that life gain for them as a 4/4. And where's my meat hook? Surprised we didn't draw another land, you know what I mean? Mommy, go. Let's take Loath. It's a draw engine. It's just like very good.
Sure you'll miss me.
It's just like very good, bro. You gonna defend the temple, huh? And we're chilling. This is a fantastic match, by the way. Opponent, thank you. You've really been doing well. They're giving us a run for our money without a doubt here. I mean, it's not quite a meat hook, but something that we can think about allowing. More counter magic in hand, obviously. Literally no more lands. No, there's a few non-basics here. We got Swamp, but very few of them, right? Okay, and then we get the big boy in play. If they were to counter something, I'd like it to be the Grasp. Not the Binding. We get it. Wow. Oh. We take Edgar out. No more life gain, bruh. And this is a big hit, Doogie. I'm going to swing with both creatures. Oh! Their third. I repeat, their third Wandering Emperor. Wow. I regret that attack. They're up to 6, I'm to 9. They hit us to 6 here. What a match of magic. Again, I mean, they've just been practicing more than me, obviously. They're doing so well. I would assume our Rising Star is absolutely dead as well. We have another on the way, and like so much mana to dump into these creatures if we top deck them, which there are. Like we've got Gloom Shriekers, both of those in the deck. We've got another Visionary. More Kami. We have Fangs. We've got Frogs. We've got the Skeletal Swarming.
Strike fast and
Another
strike
3
hard.
copies of Toshiro, right? So there's stuff going on here. There's some stuff. They've got counter magic though. And we draw another land. That is incredible. What is up with our draws? Oh my lord. Okay, so this is nice. I'm dumping 15 into this. Let's go. Yeah, you're lucky it wasn't 16, bud. With tax. Oh my gosh. So that actually might help us because, and we should have maybe attacked too. Because we don't want to tap. Oh. Grabbing the Vanishing Verse with their own Visionary. So goodbye, Rising Star. That was a fun second. That was cute, I guess. Back to being
Remember your
screwed.
training.
I was like half expecting another land. I'm gonna be honest, as our percentage goes down. And this Death Touch is gonna be fat too if they don't counter it. It's like, okay, you're forced to counter a 1/1 Death Touch. They don't do it. So they can bounce it to our hand, right? So let's do 14. I know, it's not as good. Or they just would bounce it end step so it doesn't matter. But let's just go all out. Right, like if we be a sneaky snake, they'll just wait till their end step. Because they can cycle these frickin' sky turtles. Which is very good, right? Very good doogie. Oh, but they're like, I'm just gonna wreck it with a Void Rend so they can't replay it. That's respectable. Respectable. That meat hook is so good. Without the meat hook, we'd have already won. But with the meat hook, they will win. Isn't that incredible, chat? There's still 4 lands behind us.
We must protect the
And they have a counterspell if we do draw anything. So, again, this is very grim. Very, very grim. Right, like this just gets tossed into counter magic. And then that's game for them. That was a fantastic game. I mean, win some, lose some. This is better to play a match like this and to lose than winning many of the matches in which I do. Because there's a lot of back and forth here. You know, I'm down to 24 cards. Kind of crazy that we've not found a single meat hook. There's literally 3 of them still in our deck. We finally found a Skeletal Swarming. The Toads as well, just like not here. Like, where are you? It just seems weird, the distribution of cards throughout the deck. And it's not even like, you know, we're more than halfway through our deck, which is pretty crazy, right? I'd almost like a draw here if you'll allow it. I mean, I know you've got your bases covered. You can just take lethal, but let me see this last land, right? Let me look at that land, baby. That's just redonkulous here. So again, Bell, what a fantastic match of Magic. That is so good. Oh, and I can't even press. I'm hello. I'm no longer hello. Good game. Good match, bro. Looking for a mulligan. I mean, I love the Toshiro. Don't get me wrong. I love the Toad. Where's the forest? And I know that because last turn we drew 250 lands, that this turn or game we won't draw any. Mulligan. Let's be responsible. Let's not lose the match before it even starts. Really do like this temple. But I love the... Toshiro, you will come in handy later too. Don't worry. Don't worry, bro. It's okay. Mono red is not good. This could be Boros too, though. You leave me alone. But now they might want to remove Kami before playing a creature. It's likely it's going to be a 3-3 with haste. No, there's that removal. Do they have a 1 drop to play? Yeah, okay. So this is that Boros deck. It's pretty gross. It's pretty good. Well, it's very good. Certainly against us, right? As we are an enchantment build, and they can directly mitigate that through their modified creatures and the initiate. Right, just got to remove those counters to slay enchantments. 2 counters and 3 mana. It's gonna get the job done. They've got a Thundering Reiju, and not a fan. Not a fan, Doogie. All right, hit for 6, no blocks. You're redonkulous, dude. Let's get after it. By Luminarch. Worst thing about this? Well, there's a Thundering Reiju being slammed down our throats. Don't do it. Alright, not quite as bad. There we go. What am I doing, right? Those are some bad blocks to start with. What are you doing, HGG? Let's grab that forest. That's what I'm doing, Doogie. And also, wait about one of these. I almost want to save Binding in case it is a Reiju. Good game. Away-o! Going first, like we deserve. And this is a pretty freaking aggressive curve out. It's not the greatest. Watch us top deck Binding of the Old Gods. But, you know, if you're playing on curve every turn, it almost doesn't have to be the greatest. Which is pretty cool. It just needs to be, like, there. And if they stutter, it's like you're half-assed consistency able to win, which is cool. We can ramp on that 5th land. Or the swarming. It's interesting, right? Uh-oh. Only it wasn't coming right back into play. Thank you. Luminarch. What a good card. What? A good card.ca / don't shock me. We're gonna hold on to it. They're like, well, maybe we'll just wait and see. Well, maybe we'll just wait and see, Doogie. Comes the Shook. Now we can get in front of the Luminarch with the Visionary. Or if they target the Chef, we just self-sack. Because we've got the swarming out next turn with or without this land. Oh, dirty dog. So we actually want a little bit of our own removal. And 17. Our life total here's gonna help us out a bit. Yarp. Now we need a meat hook. Now we just need a meat hook. Back-to-back Cathars. Okay, so we beat up that last Boros build, and they're like, you know what? No, we heard about that. We heard about that shit. We're coming to defend. Have to block our attack. Can we pull out the block? I almost don't think we can. We'd make 2 if we did. But now we've realized that for you as well. And we've grabbed a draw out of it, which is good to continue to play. Are you freaking kidding me, Randy? 3 Brutal Cathars, not CA, / you're drawing like a god. Whatever, man. And then they're going to play Kumano for lethal. That is crazy. There's just nothing we can do. We don't have enough blockers. And still we can't pull out the block by them. We're so darned, dude. What a hand. Play with fire, Luminarch, Cathar, etching. Some people we let take lethal, others we do not. And it looks nice. Good 1-drop, good 2-drop, good 3-drop. 4-drop. Good 5-drop. Let's see how this pans out for us. I mean, I thought we had a pretty wicked curve last game. Got absolutely wrecked by it. We're also on the Slizzo. Rangers class is good. Almost played the wrong land, if you can believe it. And this is a defensive creature. The Fang. Let's hold up that Death Touch. If you want to get in for an attack without losing your creature, well, you're going to have to remove it first. It's pretty brutal with the Kami sitting there as well, right? So we have to kind of remove the Kami first. Hey. Who's a big boy? Code Rider active. No attacks still. Very slow. As far as our interaction, if our opponent has, an opposing field state. Well, it can be quick, right? If we get a Kami into Toshiro, that's quite juicy, but... these are big boys. This is actually incredibly juicy here. We just grab the Fang back, baby. Oh, HGG, you stop it. Yes, excellent. We're chilling. I mean, look at the field state here. Oh, it's not going to get better. We still have Death Touch that they'll need to work their way through. Creatures are getting big, baby. Etching is in play, so we don't want the Kami to die, as the Etching can send it to exile, right? So be mindful. We're going to double drop, take it tonight, or from night today. Happens to just push up the team as well. Back today. I mean, they must have to have something incredibly powerful up their sleeve to get through our field state. Yeah, that kind of helps. I mean, frog, right? Push up the team. I mean, this will get out of hand eventually, right? If they don't deal with skeletal swarming, like, GG's. And that's what's cool here. We didn't even have to attack, right? We're like, oh, well, I mean, we've got a good curve, but our opponent's kind of got the field blocked up, so we're not doing much. Well, we are doing a little something, and that is establishing a massive field state ourselves. Hey, yo, River. Ribbit. Can you imagine if this thing ribbited at you? I don't know that that's necessarily a frog. Could just be a lizard. Look at that tongue, though. You know what I mean? I guess other lizards have long tongues. Or reptiles. Is a frog amphibian, or is it reptile? I think there's probably a lot of... I probably shouldn't say anything about stuff I don't know about, but gotta be some crossover there between a reptile and amphibian world, I feel like. Still similar. We've got our forest out. We've got our swamp out. We've got our reptile out. Right, this guy's definitely on land, Doogie. And we can, I guess, just kind of slide our dockside chef in. Maybe we'll make some snake soup. Huh? Snake soup, anyone? I think I'll pass. No, thank you, HGG. We're gonna be okay, right? I just ate, actually, if you can believe it. So, maybe next time, huh? First strike, go burr. 4 damage into the hen house. Right, double removal here is maybe gonna work, but at the same time, we are a little nervous that there's gonna be some protection in their hand, right? There's so many terrible things that they could play to bash us. Slip out the back. Mist of the swirling mists. March of swirling mist. That's it. Okay, it's a swirly, man. It's... 6 damage is absolutely horrendous. So here's my block. I can't take 6 damage. Are you joking me, Frederick? Because then they could like phase out our creatures next turn with a march. Like, that's why I'm scared of it so much. However, let's pull out counter magic here. Make a frog. There's no counter magic there, just protect it. You're tough. We do get another blocker, though. And, well, I guess I'll swing in with the Toad Rider, something I'm most likely not going to block with. Right? If they deal with Chemi, then, you know, sure, we can use the Chef to block. Snake Soup, off the menu. No one wanted it, so we're going to try Frog Soup instead. Because that will be better, right? Finally, it's time to turn this business around. Alright. Let me just tap out. Use that blue source. And then also don't kill me. Get a little frog action in here, huh? That's nice, and we can just maybe spring some doogies together. We're gonna try to remove it, but again, I doubt it. We can bring a binding back from the grave, and try again next turn, and try again the turn after, and just make frogs to chump block throughout the process and try to survive. You know what I mean? We're just gonna try to survive here. Vigilance means we're not attacking. Protection from black, that's lethal. Brutal. Petruzio, or like Vachizio. Woof. What did you all think of the deck? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and let's open this freaking pack.ca. Okay. I'll give you the full experience here. Hopefully my camera cooperates. Oh yes. That's the sweet spot right there, HGG. Mentally map that out. Ooh, I love these arts. Every pack that I open just it's fantastic. Like I can't get enough of it. These full art cards are great. Holographic Swamp, you know, that's not going to be a bad start either. Merchant of Marvels, 2/4. We don't really care too much about this. You know, it's going to give something flash. Dragon Souls, of course, Goggles of Night. I mean, the alt art is pretty cool. We appreciate that. But again, seeing many of these over and over again, probably no need to go through them all. I'll just look for the bangers, right? Sturge, Cone of Cold. I like that they brought Adventure back a little bit. That's pretty cool. Miss Dragon, Host Sailor, Color of the Small. Okay, so this is something I've not seen. A 3/3 with Trample. Whenever Color of the Small deals combat damage to a player, for each token you control, create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. I'll allow it. An Orc Ranger as well. That's really cool with Rabble Rousing, right? Very cool with Rabble Rousing. All right. I don't even know how to say her name. Dynair Invoker Adept. For 4 mana, a 4/4 with haste. You may activate abilities of other creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. Interesting. So if it has a tap ability, you can do that on entry. That is pretty cool. And then whenever you next activate an ability this turn by spending 4 or more mana to activate it, copy that ability, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Interesting. We're going to have to take a look at this. That is beautiful holographic as well. We do not mind. Eldritch Pack in the house for 7 mana sorcery. Target player draws X cards and then loses X life, where X is the number of cards in their graveyard. Whoa. And then a holographic Colossal Badger, which is just cool to have. Let's be honest. And then, of course, our treasure token. We got a couple bangers there, and I'm interested to look up the Invoker Adept, and I'll probably be learning that it's worth about 10 cents. But, you know, hopefully it's worth a little bit more than that. We've actually been having fairly good luck so far with our pulls. when I'm done opening this Boulder Gates box, obviously we're doing one in every video, we're gonna add it all up and see how much, you know, in card value we did receive in comparison to the cost of the box. And honestly, so far as an estimate, I think we're doing pretty good, right? I think we're on track to basically just cover the price of the box, which is what you'd expect. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It does help all of these videos continue to come out in the future. Cheers. I hope you have an absolute magical day, and I can't wait to see you in the next.